What's good, y'all, man? Been a hectic week, but y'all know I got to get y'all with the content, man, and talk about the preseason top 25. So, obviously, this coach poll came out yesterday. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to compare it to Joe Klatz. I actually like Klatz. I think he does a really good job. But they got Georgia 1, Ohio State 2, Oregon 3, Texas 4, Bama 5, Ole Miss 6, Notre Dame 7, Michigan 8, Penn State 9, Florida State 10. I think Michigan and Penn State are pretty high, bearing that they lost so many players. Keeping it going, Missouri 11, LSU 12. Utah is ranked too low in my opinion at 13. Clemson 14, Tennessee 15, Oklahoma 16, Kansas State 17. They just lost Will Howard as well. Oklahoma State 18, Miami 19, Texas A&M 20. Arizona, I like them, but that's kind of high at 21. NC State 22, USC 23, Kansas 24, and Iowa 25. Nah, I like his list a little bit better because I agree. I think the consistent number one team right now is Ohio State. No disrespect to Georgia, no disrespect to Georgia fans. But I think when you look at the accumulation of talent they got, when they got Quinshon Judkins, Will Howard, who's a proven starter, showed that he could play in the Big 12. It's not going to be that much of a difference coming to the Big 10. Let's just be honest. And all the weapons they got, Jeremiah Smith could potentially be freshman of the year. Then you still got Mecca Ibuka there, and you got one of the best running back tandems in the country. Also with Trevion Henderson and Quinshon. Hey, good luck. You know what I'm saying? And defensively, they got Caleb Downs in the offseason. I'm just saying, bro, they look like the team to beat. Georgia will be good as well. Georgia got one of the best offensive lines, I think, in the country. Their interior offensive line with Tate Ratledge, or led by Tate Ratledge, is off the charts, man. I really think they're going to have another pretty good season. They'll definitely make the college football playoff regardless if they have a loss or two. We'll see with the tough SEC, but they'll definitely be one of the teams there when it's said and done. Now, Texas, I do like Texas. I think the receiving core is really good. I don't think it's up to the standard of Ohio State, but I do think it's one of the top ones. I go top 5, right, with Jonte Cook. Obviously, the guy Isaiah Bond from Alabama. And Quinn Ewers is coming back for another year. 3 is high for me because of the change in conference. We got to think about that, y'all. You know, 3 is a little bit too high for me. I will put them still a top 10 team, but I'll move them maybe like 6 or 7. I just think that's a little too high. SEC is going to take time to get adjustment to. You know what I'm saying? You week in, week out, you got to bring your straw hat. You know, week in, week out, you got to bring your chin strap. You can't just come and play all willy-nilly in the SEC. They don't play that. You know what I'm saying? Every week you got to bring it. And sometimes in the Big 12, you know, these teams, Oklahoma, Texas, they would struggle with teams that are on the lower end. You mess around, you do that with a Missouri, who's actually going to be pretty good this year. But you mess around and do that with a Vanderbilt, right? A Mississippi State right now. They're going to mess around and win that game. So that's why I think they're a little too high. I like Oregon at 4. Ole Miss 5 is a little high. But it's supposed to be the year of Lane Kiffin. They won 10 games last year. But now it's time to take that next step. And I talked about that in my videos with Jackson Dart at the helm. Got to take that next step, man. So we're going to see. 5 is a little bit high for me. Notre Dame 6. That's cool. Michigan, I think they're a top 10 team. But 7 is a little high because of everything they lost, right? They don't got J.J. McCarthy anymore. No Blake Corum. They do have Donovan Edwards coming back. But what other top receiver target is going to step up for them next year? We're going to find out. Bama at 8 to me seems a little bit disrespectful. Like, I will put them in the Ole Miss spot. That's what I mean. Like, Ole Miss is still a top 10 team, but number 8. Bama's done an outstanding job in their 2024 recruitment, right? Bringing guys in. Even in the offseason, I think Kellen DeBoer going to have this team ready to go. And he's still going to bring back Jalen Milroe, right? And they got a pretty good receiving core. So, you know, I think Bama's going to be right back there. That's why I feel like Bama in these rankings are a little bit slight. I still like his rankings compared to the other one, but I think Bama just a little bit slighted. Now, Utah at 9, I love that. I think they're going to make some noise in the Big 12 this year. I think they're going to show people like, hey, man, we're a staple program. We're slept on. I know he was in the Pac-12, but, hey, now we show we can play big boy football. They're going to be a top team. They're going to make the college football playoff. Penn State, kind of same old thing, man. Can Drew Aller take that next step, bro? You know, we don't know. You know, that atmosphere, they're yearning for another good Penn State team. Hey, it'd be good for college football. When Penn State is good, it's great for college football. When Miami is good at 12, and I love that ranking for them, college football is good. And I think this year under Mario Cristobal, Miami's going to have a better season. They're going to be a team to beat, you know, in the ACC. Like, you throw, obviously, Florida State in there. Obviously, throw Clemson in there. And I think Georgia Tech, that would be my top 4. You know what I'm saying? I think Georgia Tech going to surprise a lot of people this year. But Miami, man, they should have a better season this year. A lot on the line, but they should be pretty good. Florida State, I think they're a top 10 team. I think 13's a little low. Yeah, I really do. Now, you say what you want. They lost a lot of their veterans. But again, this is Mike Norvell, man. He going to have these guys ready to go. So I think Florida State's a little bit ranked too low. USC's kind of high for me. Defensively, will it be better this year? Can they finally get stops on defense? They had an electric offense last year with Caleb Williams at the helm, right? Obviously got Malachi coming back. You know, it's one of their top receivers. But can you get a stop defensively? I feel like the offense could be right there. We know the mastermind that Lincoln Riley is. But will this team be better defensively this year with the new kind of players coming in and with their DC? We'll find out. All right, next up, Tennessee. Like, I like Tennessee, but I don't know what the hype is with them. Like, I've seen some rankings, they're rated like top 10. Like, I like Nico. I like what they got, but it's like I got to see it to believe it first with Tennessee. I don't think it's going to be just they're going to go in there and they're going to have a dominant season. Like, you know, SEC don't have any divisions, you know what I'm saying, anymore. But I got to see it to believe it. And I want to see, is Nico really that guy? Joe Milton was a starter last year. Can Nico be one of those guys that comes on the scene and be like, hey, I'm going to compete, I'm going to contend, I'm going to lead my team to 10 wins? I got to see that first. Next up, man, I want to see what this quarterback does for LSU, man. I really do, man. This a team, again, their 25 class looks really good. I think they're brewing and building something really special at LSU. It's going to take some time. They pulled off some really good wins last year. Again, you know, as their offensive lineman said, we had 10 wins last year, but that's not our standard. You know, when certain teams get 10 wins, their coaches get fired, get replaced. Can they take the next step under Coach Miles? Let's find out, man. You know what I'm saying? But another team I like that could be a potential sleeper and could make some noise. Clemson at 22. I get it, the ranking. It's all going to fall on Clay Klubnik. We've been talking about it. It's all going to fall on Cade. They got a good rushing attack, really good secondary that nobody's talking about. And watch out for that linebacker core led by Barrett Carter, who got a lot of ACC votes. And also Sammy Brown, man. Get to know that name, man. I think he'll get a lot of playing time towards the middle of the season, towards the end. And he's going to show people what he's made of, how good and elite he is, man. And then last but not least, Nebraska. A little bit high for me, for Joel Klatt. I got to see him, man. They got a freshman starting, you know, and I want to see how unlocked can Dylan Raiola be, right? How good can he be in year one under Nebraska? It's a lot riding on this. They flipped him from Georgia. How is that team going to look overall, man? And the only team I think that's disrespected out of everybody is the Auburn Tigers, right? I know Peyton Thorne's their quarterback. They should be a much better team this year, man. That receiving core, I'm going to keep telling y'all. That receiving core, dog, is special. You know what I'm saying? Them boys ain't playing around. You know what I'm saying? Malcolm Simmons. You know what I'm saying? Perry Thompson. You know what I'm saying? Cam Coleman. Them boys going to be ready to play. Now, I know they got veterans in there. I know they got Robert Lewis and company. I know they got some dogs. Yo, all Peyton got to do, if Peyton could play complimentary football, man, 63 to 65% completion percentage, you know, maybe like a 4 or 5 to 1 turnover ratio, he didn't got to throw for 300-400 yards, man. If he can go 200 yards, 2 touchdowns a game, he's good. You know what I'm saying? But now we got to see, can Auburn take the step defensively? I think offensively, they're going to be pretty good. You know, and everybody's going to be talking about this receiving core after the season. That's how special them boys can be. Last but not least, Iowa. Defense is elite, bro. They like top 10 in most statistical categories. But can they finally take a step forward offensively? This is why this team wasn't that good last year. Defensively, they were in games. Offense could not score points. Can that offense take that next jump? We're going to find out. But I think overall, man, my whole thoughts on the list, I thought Klatt did a pretty good job with this list as compared to the other one. And like I said, this is the coaches poll. Like, I think that's high for Tennessee at 15. You know what I'm saying? A little too high for me. Clemson, that's cool at 14. I liked how Klatt had Miami high, though, at 12. Hey, I love that. LSU, you know what I'm saying, they should be a pretty good team this year. The other rankings, you didn't see NC State on there as well. But, yeah, those are the rankings, like, I don't really agree with. But overall, man, that's my thoughts. Y'all comment below on the teams. What team are you most excited to see for in 2024, man? We're not that far off, man. Only about 2 weeks from Saturday to the first game kickoff. Georgia Tech versus Florida State in the English Classic, man. Get your popcorn ready, man. It's gonna be fun.